Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Seneca County Commissioner meeting. It is June 29th, 10 a.m., and we'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, quick prayer. Dear God, we ask that you look over our meeting today, county business, and especially that you touch the first responders in our county, law enforcement, EMS, fire, serious tragedies this past week, and our first responders were put in some difficult situations. And we ask that you comfort them and thank them for doing a job and serving our county. Amen. All right, so at this time we'll accept the motion to approve the digital audio recording.
We need to do roll call first.
After we do roll call? We'll do roll call first. Thank you.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Here?
Commissioner Schuff?
Here.
Commissioner Frankert?
Here. I guess I was in my train of fair thought. You know, those poor first responders, man, that was a tough week for them. So back to the minutes. So accept the motion to approve digital audio recording of our prior board session meeting on June 22nd, regular session 10 a.m. So moved. Second. Roll call.
Commissioner Frankert?
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff?
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso?
Yes. Thank you. Now we've got that out of the way. We have a bid opening at 10:05 for our EMS station number 1. We'll be passing around a sign-in sheet. We have a few minutes till then. We had Charles Knight, Eagle Scout, scheduled to be here. Cannot make it, so we are going to postpone that.
Yeah, we're actually, we're going to go over to the Dog Works house at 1 today. One of us, either me or you guys, to hand that off.
Nice, okay.
So, yeah. Do you want me to summarize the
would you
project?
please,
Yeah, so this is Charles Knight. He's pursuing his Eagle Scout right now. He doesn't have it yet, but he finished his Eagle Scout project, which was a collaboration with the Seneca County Dog Warden to put out. There's this, you've seen blessing boxes around town, like outside of our office. This is kind of a new spin on this, but for pets. So it kind of looks like a dog house. People can drop off things for dogs, cats, four-legged friends, that type of thing. It's a really cool project, so I think he and some of his family members are going to be out there today at 1, and one of us will go out and hand off the proclamation. So,
okay. Thank you, Charles Knight, for contribution to the county. We appreciate that. What time do we have, Jimmy?
it is 10:03.
Okay. Commissioner report. You want to sneak one in? Whatever.
All right. Yeah. So yesterday we had the launch of Fostoria, the semifinals. This is their 3rd year doing that, so it was nice. They had a total of 8 applicants. These are small businesses looking to win a package over there in Fostoria. It includes marketing. There's some radio spots. There's free rent for a year. There's some cash prizes and that sort of thing. But if you're looking to start a business, this is the 3rd year that they've been doing this. We started it here in Tiffin about 6-7 years ago. It's taken off really well in Fostoria, and even up in Sandusky County or Fremont, they're starting to put their spin on it. So we took it down from 8. We interviewed 6 of them yesterday. I'll go to the final 4 here, which those scores are being tallied, but I'm looking forward to seeing those results. As I always say, we're business friendly here in Seneca County, so if you're thinking about doing a startup, you got a business idea, you want to do something, it's a perfect opportunity for you. Yesterday, we also had the Seneca County Housing Study Committee, and that was their kickoff. So Aaron Monson-Tsep, he had formed a committee to go over different housing issues that we're facing here in Seneca County. So we had a lot of different players there at the board, went over a lot of different things. So in 2019, the city of Tiffin had a housing study done. Fostoria also had one here in the last few years. And then with the one that we funded here with the Commissioner's Office in 2023, they're putting those plans together. They're getting out their maps. There was realtors there at the meeting, different developers. We discussed infrastructure, all sorts of things. It was a kickoff meeting, so they're getting all their different plans, their maps, and kind of matching those together so they can kind of have a more straighter vision of what they're going for. So that was a very productive meeting. Covered a lot of different things there. So glad to be a part of that. Also, yesterday we had the Bicentennial Committee. Kudos to Teresa Sullivan who puts that on, and we discussed the Bicentennial here for Seneca County, which comes up here. That'll be April 1st when that starts. So we're still in the planning phases of that, but it'll be here before we know it. So we had representation there from Destination Seneca County. We also discussed the eclipse that's coming up here, which will be a big deal. So a lot of things going on. This morning we had a ditch hearing. And then I just want to tell everybody to just be careful with the air quality right now. It's at level 166. If you have asthma or you have family members or friends that are elderly, and just keep an eye on people and just be careful out there right now because it is a little hazy. So, yeah, take care of one another.
Good. Okay, thank you. So what were you, Bart, for the ditch hearing?
I'm sorry?
We'll let you run the ditch hearing. You probably gonna...
Bid opening.
The bid opening.
The bid opening.
I'm sorry. You're right.
It's okay. It's okay.
I still have a little fog being set.
It's the smoke
It's a
outside.
smoke outside.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, bid opening, I'll let you take.
Yes, the project is for the EMS station number 1,
Okay, really.
located on US 224, just outside of Bloomville. The architect's estimate is $988,900, with an alternate for a generator of an additional $44,000. I will turn it over to Michael Work from RCM.
Thank you, Barb. I think my screen is live now. We received 2 bids, one from Klaus Construction, one from ACI Construction, and I will open those bids now, read the total base bid, and then after this meeting we'll review all the documents that were submitted and then make a recommendation. I'm opening up Klaus Construction bid first. Total base bid of $1,140,966. I will open up their bid just to move, scroll through the documents quickly. So that was the total. The base bid, no alternates, is $1,084,970. General construction portion of that is $810,713. Mechanical contractor All-Star, plumbing contractor All-Star, and electrical contractor is Herbert Electric, and they proposed a completion time of 240 days. For the generator alternate, a bid of $55,996. Unit prices for additional site work is included if needed. There is a list of substitutions that we will review. Bid bond uploaded. Bid guarantee uploaded. Affidavit of personal property tax uploaded. And signed by Leonard Klaus. I will go back and open up ACI Construction. Okay, total base bid $1,489,000. General construction $1,212,942. Mechanical contractor and plumbing contractor All-Star, and electrical contractor is Herbert Electric. Generator alternate $72,000. Unit prices included. No substitutions proposed. Bid bond with guarantee and affidavit uploaded. And I missed the time of completion, 210 calendar days.
What was our estimate, Mike?
Barley 98.
$988,900.
That includes reading the bids.
So I think at this time you'll get Barb and,
Yeah, we'll review and then we'll do a scope review of the parent loans, see your options moving forward.
okay, good. Anything else from you?
No.
That's good? Okay, thank you, everybody. Good. Good job, Michael. More to come, right?
We're done.
So, we'd like to go into executive session to discuss pending litigation. We don't expect any come of that, but we may be a few minutes. So at this time, I'll make a motion at 10:11 that we go into executive session for pending litigation.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso,
Yes.
and I'll also request that Jimmy Flint join us in executive session.
Okay. We will be right back. Prosecutors here. Okay, it's 10:43. I'd like to make a motion to come out of executive session.
Second.
Okay, second, Commissioner Schuff, roll call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. So we're out of executive session. We met with the county prosecutor, and he had an intern with him, Hannah. It was a good meeting, and no action was taken. So we'll jump back into our agenda with commissioner reports. And Commissioner Frank, you're up.
Last Friday, Barb and I and John was out to the juvenile center, looking at some HVAC stuff going on there. I think Jeff from Wadsworth was there.
Yes.
Yeah, and so he's going to come up with a list, kind of his recommendations on how to. Jeff is, yes. He's going to submit kind of what maybe 3 or 4 different approaches to the project and stuff to see how we can get the heat and AC balance and stuff out to the juvenile center out there and stuff like that. So good meeting, spent about an hour and a half or so out there with them, and that was good. Saturday morning they had the farmers market, and that was the first kickoff for OSU Extension, doing a monthly series of education for the community. Presley did from had a snap ad and how to make goat soap and numerous other things. So that was a pretty good event right outside the building here. After that, I went over to Bascom. They had an amateur radio guy set up over there, and so I did my first amateur call, and I reached out to somebody in South Carolina. So that was pretty cool the way you go through that.
Do they have an accent?
No, I mean, it's kind of hard to tell. It's not real. It's kind of those attitudes. So, right, it's almost back in the day. So, CVs and pickup trucks, just waiting for rubber ducky to get on, stuff like that. So, right, so that was pretty cool out there. First time attending that. So that was excellent. So Tuesday, I had a budget commission meeting at the bottom of the RTA, and went through the stuff there with Derek and Julie, and Paul Harrison was there. Following that, we were here at 10:30 for the investment committee update from Treasurer Harrison, and kind of what the meter, what they're looking at about investments and where we should be at with that. And after that, was out to legislative luncheon out to B-Dubs with Congressman Latta, and other electeds were out there from township trustees to our county auditor, treasurer. So we had about 25 people there. After that event, then Adam Gilmore from TCEP, he and I took Congressman Latta around. We went over to Webster. They did a nice tour there, and over to Marywood, and then we finished up at Tiffin Auto Mall, where Steve Hook has that, and look at all of Steve's antique cars, and Bob really enjoyed that, part of it, the whole thing. But I give Bob kudos. He's been in Seneca County quite a bit, and when he has interaction with the businesses, I mean, he's always asked about their trials and tribulations and how he can help and stuff with things. So great day spent that. And yesterday morning, TCEP meeting, their monthly meeting. So they kind of gave some updates and stuff coming down the pike, and kind of had the round table with all the members and stuff there.
Switched them, yeah.
So yeah, I just did that, and then right after that, at 12:30, we had the Eclipse meeting, kind of updating from the Bryce and Marissa from their side. John Spar was there, kind of giving some scope and stuff for the EMA side of it, and it's continued work in progress, and it's just a lot of uncertainty, a lot of questions, how much to prepare and what to prepare for and stuff with it, and then had a conversation with Carrie Cart from GLCAP, so she's kind of telling us to dust off our capital projects and stuff for looking at for next year with that, and also had a conversation with Kurt Lever from the Farm Service Agency, and he's actually kind of moved into we talk about the building, and so he's kind of just here in the last few weeks kind of got on the committee to steer that and start moving forward with those options stuff with it. So we should be starting to hear more stuff come down the pipe from the Farm Service Agency on that.
That's what we need.
Yep, for sure. Yep. That's what we got.
Busy.
Busy.
Yeah.
Good.
Good report, thank you. I as well went to Meadowbrook, took my dog out to the ham radio event. I do the straw, and I got there, I was all excited because the civil commissioner Frank had already been there, so we still got the 100 points. I guess just a few comments on the EMS bid. We are, it's June, July's facing us, next week. Barb's been, we began a little bit of budget conversation, capital projects. It's always cheaper to build it 3 years ago than tomorrow. So I think when we started, we were 750, 800,000 for an EMS building a year and a half ago, and then in our heads, we were maybe like 900. And now I think it could be up to $1.2 million, right? Depends on changes and what we do and that kind of thing. Again, we'll put our list together, we'll revise our guesstimated price tags on things. I will remind the public, we have our fingers crossed, Congressman Latta, and I also want to thank him for, he's very hands-on, he's down here. We have a $750,000 grant application that's in the final phases in DC in the budget. So we're not celebrating yet, but you can sure use it, especially in light of the estimates that we have. We're still proceeding forward. Regardless of the cost, we have money set aside. However, when you start looking at station 2, 3, and 4, if they're all $500,000 more than we expected, then you have to kind of look at things. So this grant would be extremely helpful. So keep our fingers crossed on that. Barb, I think you kind of, maybe not next week, but maybe by the following week you'll have met. How much time do we need for you to?
Just kind of depends
at
on
least a couple
how
weeks,
soon I
maybe.
get it from Michael and how soon we can go through and make sure everything is
Yeah.
where it's supposed to be.
You might as well do it right? Everybody agrees to
It
that.
could be a couple of weeks before
Couple
we
weeks,
actually make
couple
the
weeks.
determination.
I just want to make
yeah.
sure we're all on the same page there.
Yeah.
Good. So over to county administrator's report.
I just have a couple of things. I just want to remind everyone that there is no meeting next Thursday, the 6th, and again, no meeting on the 27th at the end of the month because that is Fair Week. So, we had talked about the storage at the TV building. When Bill and I went out to the youth center on Friday last week, we also had met up with John and went out and looked at the storage that's out there. Currently, the auditor has some things out there, but she is working to get those items removed because they will be scanned. Most of it belongs to the law library. And I believe that Jimmy was talking with Susan in regards to that, and it was going to be brought up at their next meeting, correct?
Yeah, our next meeting is July 18th, I believe, so that's one of the agenda topics. And you found that there's also maybe some auditor stuff on the...
The auditor has some payroll books
Payroll,
out
we
there
keep
that they're going to work on getting those books scanned so they can be destroyed.
That's part of the 25,000.
Yes, that's part of their I think theirs was $28,000, a little over $28,000 at the last meeting for them to do that scanning.
So on the law library, just a question. I was under the assumption most of the books were in the TV building, not the youth center. So I'm assuming.
They're in the TV building, yes. That's where we
TV building.
yes,
yeah,
we took a
that's right.
tour of the TV building
I
to
was
see
thinking,
these.
real
Yes.
building. Okay, fair enough. We're on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah. But mostly that is a lot of
First
the,
time you've been in there?
Yes.
Yeah.
and that was the first time I had been out there.
You've been there.
A lot of it belongs to the law library.
I'm sorry, Jim. Yeah. You may want to see if they want to go out there.
Yeah, they have
have
done
done
that. So Susan went out in 2020,
Okay.
and we have like an Excel spreadsheet which she's making recommendations, but like they want to make sure like the bar association gets a look at it. So they're working on that. You know, some stuff maybe they have to keep. We're trying to work through that. So stuff right now. So
Yeah.
hopefully July 18th I'll have more.
I'm kind of excited
Yeah.
because we're close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just, but I just happened, Bill and I had gone out, had John from maintenance take us out to kind of see what was exactly out there. And but there's really not a whole lot in that building other than most of it's all libraries items. So I believe there was some Board of Election cones and like handicap signs and things like that, that maybe we can talk to them and see about getting rid of those, if they can use them, whatever the case may be. But that was just something that we had taken care of. I also wanted to let you know that Mary, I'm going to botch her name.
From SCAT?
Yes, from SCAT.
She's flying high right now.
Yeah, she is. She was awarded $3.5 million in a grant for her electric vehicles that we had written a letter of
She came here
support.
and gave us a presentation. I
Yeah.
remember. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the highest of anybody in the county.
So that's pretty good. So I just wanted, I knew I thought she had emailed all of you, but I just wanted you guys to be aware
I
of
think
it.
one thing we want to look at, we tore down the youth building, our master plan, that real estate over there, there's going to be, it's going to change with the new building and the buses from, Blue,
Okay.
School of Opportunity, that whole side, the park, there's just going to be a lot, it's going to change in there a little bit now that they have this grant.
Yeah.
And it's good, we approved it, but I can't quite remember how it's all going to work.
I'm not sure either.
And we are talking a little bit about some other things over in that area, so I think you might want to reach out because we want to just keep it's county land and stuff, right? Just keep
Yeah.
good communication
Yep.
and keep us abreast with what's going on.
Okay.
I'd like to see a plan. We've seen it, but now that it's passed, right, we see the final plan of what's going to happen.
Yeah, what they anticipate it being.
It's going to change a little bit.
Okay.
To the good,
Yeah.
I suspect. Okay, great.
The other thing I have is Jimmy helped Job and Family Services with a press release in regarding a collaboration between Seneca County, JFS, and the Firelands Counseling and Recovery Services. This actually got picked up by ABC News, 13 ABC News. They did a story on it. It's addressing the shortage of the youth serving behavioral health professionals in Ohio. It's a shortage, and nationwide. They set up a consortium with members from the community to fill in and identify the gaps in the youth benefit behavioral health services within Seneca County. So that made the news. And
Good
then
job, Jim.
Yeah, big shout out to JD Pooley from 13 ABC. He's been
yeah.
really interested in local stories here. He's actually, I don't know if you guys saw also this week, but John Sparr put something out for 4th of July. He's going to do like an emergency shelter demonstration type thing. I think he was in here talking about that. And I think JD's
Safe room?
from, what's that?
Was it the safe room?
Safe room.
Yeah,
And I think JD is also interested in going down and kind of covering that too. So thanks to him and all of our media partners for taking interest in stories going on in Seneca County.
That's all I have as far as administrator reports.
Nice job. Any old business? Okay, jump in this. Do you have something? You
I
good?
was just giving a thumbs up.
Okay, thank you. We'll jump into sub-apps.
There's quite a few this week.
See you, Kenny. Thanks for coming.
We have several from general fund. They're for various departments within the general fund. I will go through these hopefully quickly, but there are quite a few.
They're all from the gym. Yeah, I was going to say, you can probably, they're all
Most
from the
generally
same
are general
line item.
fund, but they're different line items for different departments. I have $372.50 for the transfer line for the public assistance. This was due to an increase for the state fiscal year 2024 mandated share that we do with we have to provide to JFS. The is a $5,000 request for road supplies, which is for the sheriff's office. This is because fuel costs have gone up. And I believe there are a few other small supplies that they're requesting. Again, the sheriff's office on their roadside for contract services in the amount of $5,000. This again is because of costs going up. It's for vehicle maintenance. And I believe they also have Verizon increases. The sheriff's office again for their roadside for uniforms in the amount of $11,301.88. This is for uniforms and vests. I believe they have a 25% grant that they will be reimbursed for a portion of the vests that they order.
I think they get 75. Yeah, we
70,
pay 20.
yeah, we paid 25, I'm sorry. Then we have for the sheriff on the jail side, supplies in the amount of $14,000. Again, increased costs for fuel, food, those types of things. $3,000 for their contract service for the jail, for the sheriff's office. Again, road maintenance and Verizon increases. $8,706.83 for the sheriff's office for their jail uniforms. Again, a portion of it is for vests and new officer uniforms. I have the probate salaries in the amount of $1,360.61. Probate for Medicare, $19.73. Probate for their OPERS for $190.49. This is for retirement and resignation of employees, their payouts that we have to pay. Then also for probate, I also have their travel line of $2,000. This amount was reduced on their 2023 budget, and we're obviously getting back into doing more traveling, so they're requesting additional money. The juvenile side is asking for $9,931.56 in salaries. Also, juvenile Medicare, $144.01. Also, juvenile OPERS, $1,390.42. This again is for retirement and resignation of employees. The Board of Elections, Social Security in the amount of $50. This is for poll worker pay. That would be it would more than likely be someone that is working as a poll worker but has Social Security withheld instead of OPERS.
Okay.
Board of Elections, generally on that Social Security portion, it might be a Board of Health board member. They don't pay OPERS, they pay Social Security. So they would have Social Security withheld instead of the OPERS. The Board of Elections salaries in the amount of $22,000. This is just a shortfall for 2023 when we were doing budgeting. I also have $19,000 for contract services for Board of Election. This is due to the August special election. Just additional services that have to be provided. I have $18,500 for Board of Election leases. This is for their poll pad leases. $8,000 in supplies for Board of Elections because the state is requiring them to have new envelopes processed. They have to put either a different return address or something on the envelope, that they couldn't use old envelopes, so they had to purchase new ones.
So is there talk of reimbursement for this?
Generally, when a special election happens, there is talk of it. I haven't heard anything.
'Cause I don't know if we even got reimbursed from last year. Did we get much? Not 100%, was it?
I don't know that we ever get completely reimbursed, but we do generally get a majority of it.
That's the League of Women Voters. What should we do? Call the governor?
Right.
Yeah, it's
Well, we do, we run everything good here, so. But it's an unfunded mandate, right? That we get.
yeah.
It's a good point, really.
Yeah, a lot of times they will mandate an election and we don't get any funding, but I have not heard anything on this special election. we can hope that they put something in the
You might
budget
want
for
to
it.
just ask Lori.
And I can call Jim or Lori and double
Yeah,
check
just
on
get
that.
a,
See if there's any pulse.
just so we can let the taxpayers know.
Yep.
What the difference is.
I do know that they are half consolidating. They lettered from last August that they are consolidating a lot of the facilities. Fewer, yes.
Right, they're trying to
Something together.
cost effective.
We'll have a press release out on that either tomorrow or early next week to let people know. It's the ones that are consolidated are like down the street from each other.
Right.
Like there's
So, you know, kind of like one's across the road from each other and they're putting it in one spot.
exactly.
Well, give them credit to
It's
that.
lower turnout.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just saves money.
It does, yep.
Good.
I have for maintenance and repair fund, for the engineer, contract, projects line of $400,000. This is additional funding that they needed for, the paving project at County Road 23 and 46, I believe. They just didn't budget enough. And then I have a job in, juvenile and probate tech grant fund, for their software license and service of $82,030. They received a technology grant, so, this is just money that, will be expended, to pay for that. Also, in that same fund, under the equipment line, for $23,492, again, is for the technology grant. They're upgrading their, services over there for, their, court reporting, I believe. The General Special Projects Fund, $13,200 for contract services. Part of this money is to pay mental health and recovery services for grant reporting and just contract services in general for the common police courts. The Housing Revolving Loan Fund home repair for $9,601. This is per the payment year of 2022 CHIP grant. A portion of the Seneca County Housing Revolving Loan Funds is to be used towards projects included in the payment year of 2022 CHIP grant. A request for payment for GLCAP's client number located in Attica, Ohio, in the amount of $9,601 has been made. Therefore, I'm requesting the funds to be appropriated so we can make the payment to the City of Fostoria from Charlene Watkins. That is all I have for supplemental appropriations today.
That's it.
Yeah.
So moved to accept the supplemental appropriations.
Second, Commissioner Franker.
Okay, we have first and second, little discussion. I'd like to just make a comment, with regards to, some of the sheriff's, requests. I appreciate the fact you went out, talked to him, we met with all of us individually, and we've had a couple meetings. I think, they're doing a great job out there of, holding to the budget. These additional requests were line by line reviewed by yourself and agreed on with the sheriff's office and yourself. So I think communication's good there. We just have to keep an eye on things. So I did learn with VEST when you hire a new officer and they get equipped, vests are only good for 5 years. So every 5 years you have to get a new bulletproof vest. And these are like $1,500. And there is a grant that the sheriff's working with, but if you think about it, every officer we have to put $300 a year away from them. So at the end of the 5th year, they can get the new vest which they need and we want to provide it. These are things that we're learning and we're trying to accrue and plan for as we go. So appreciated that conversation. I learned something new there myself personally. Anybody else have any comments on any of the sub apps? Okay, now roll call.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Any resolutions and
Okay,
we're getting close.
in there.
Jimmy has a comment.
Really quick, just related to that, sorry. I did ask Lori real quick about the reimbursement.
Okay.
She said they're supposed to be, but it hasn't been approved yet. I'll look through emails and forward you the info, so I'll send that to Barb and you guys when we get it. So we'll see soon, hopefully.
It's part of this budget.
I think it might be part of the budget.
Yeah, so we should know soon.
Okay.
That's the hopefully, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Just a lot of people, fingers crossed, with this budget.
Yeah, no kidding. Okay, so on to resolutions. I have a resolution authorizing a fund transfer be made to the Public Service Fund of 2030. This is for the Public Assistance Fund mandated share.
Make a motion to approve this. Second. Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
Resolution authorizing the Seneca County Board of Commissioners to accept the bid M&B asphalt for County Road 2346 paving resurfacing project.
Make a motion to accept the resolution?
Second?
Okay, any discussion? Roll call?
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
This one's a long one, so give me. A resolution authorizing annual assessments upon benefited landowners as defined in section 6131.01 of the Ohio Revised Code. Approval of proposed maintenance work for the several single county ditches presently under maintenance work for 2023, and approval of requests for maintenance assessments for maintenance work performed as submitted by Seneca Soil and Water Conservation District Ditch Maintenance Department and approved by the Seneca County Engineer pursuant to section 6137.03.
So move.
Second?
Okay, any discussion? We just happen to have,
Right.
in the audience, Soil and Water. Would you like to add a comment on this? We're good? Any input? I don't have any questions, just,
So basically,
Thought
this is just an annual thing we do, so that way you guys can go out and do maintenance, check things, and then if there's anything needs done, that's kind of what this.
this is for the individual
Yeah.
versus the, what do we call those groups?
Well,
Yeah, we did,
this is all group project.
everything's
Yeah.
group, that's what they do is group, yeah. So when we say individual, that would be the Stacy, okay, got it. So now you're official after we. Okay. Anything else? We good? All right, we have a first and second. That was a long one. Roll
Yeah.
call.
Commissioner Frankert,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
Resolution
Learn all the time.
Resolution appointing the Seneca County Floodplain Development Permit Appeals Board retroactive to January 1, 2023 for a 2-year term.
Make a motion that we pass the resolution?
Second?
Dave, you want to explain this one?
There
Briefly.
there was a gentleman that was apparently gonna have to try to understand this as well. He was asking to have his driveway base heightened to get out to get out of the floodplain. And it came to our attention, or the Brett Margroff's attention, that there were some asphalt grindings that were being put in the floodplain. So he was told that he could not do that. He has basically appealed that decision from Brett Margroff, and according to the ORC, we have to establish an appeals board. This has never happened in.
Wow.
I talked to Stacy. She said not in her 16 years had this ever happened. So this is to establish that appeals board so that we can have a public meeting to determine his appeal. But it involves it consists of the president of the county commissioner's office, the president of the County Township Trustee Association, and the county engineer. That's it, what it is in a nutshell.
So this will establish the board, and then the board will set a meeting.
Yes.
Okay, thanks for the explanation. We have a first and a second. Roll call.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes.
The last resolution I have is authorizing the expenditure of non-general funds for interest unable to be removed from the Seneca County Engineer's credit card.
So moved.
Second.
I'll give you a little bit of insight on this. Lisa Tracy out at the engineer's office has tried to no avail for several months to have interest removed because payment was not received on time. And it's just has not been removed. So per ORC, the auditor's office is requesting that we pass a resolution so that it can be paid, because technically counties, townships are not supposed to pay late fees or
Engineer
interest.
Zimmerman is.
Was it interest or late fee then?
It was
I
interest.
know he hates it. 'cause
It's interest.
Which bank was it? Do you know?
Old Fort Bank. That-
And they won't,
the credit
and they
card.
won't work with it?
She can be on hold for an hour and then gets cut off. So, and then when she does talk to somebody, it's like, we can't take it off, we can't remove it. And so it's just been an ongoing,
It's an ORC thing. We have to clean it up.
we have to clean it up. Yeah, by ORC, the commissioners
but
are
you're-
required to pass a
That's great.
resolution for payment.
But the problem with it, it's not like Old Fort Bank has, they're contracted with MasterCard or whoever with that, and they have to get somebody on it. It's
Right.
not like the old days where you can go down and they can take care of things.
Okay. Anything else? I guess we have to act on that. We'll do roll call.
Commissioner Franker,
Yes.
Commissioner Schuff,
Yes.
Commissioner Paradiso.
Yes. Reluctantly. Yes. Okay, public comment. Anyone in the audience like to say anything? You're welcome. A little stretch, that executive session kind of derailed everything, didn't it? Where was Mr. Brian Ball's coffee cup during that break?
I would have filled it for you. He hasn't brought it back in yet.
If you'd have had that cup, we'd have bought you a coffee. And if you'd have asked us, we'd have still got you one. But, okay, Jimmy, online, I guess.
Yep, if you're online right now, you want to speak, you can unmute your line and come forward now. For anybody on Zoom.
Okay. Everybody okay then?
Yep.
So we will not meet next Thursday. We'll meet, what's the date?
The 13th,
13th.
next meeting.
July 13th will be our next meeting. And we're gonna miss everybody in the audience. Have a nice 4th. Meeting adjourned.